They're allowed to develop as young people to the age of consent, not have dastardly things that was stated by Mr. Tatchell, that he knew of people who had sex with minors as young as 9 and 12, and it was a pleasurable occasion for both parties. That is anathema to most right-thinking people. We've seen the demise of Barry Cowan. There's many questions to be asked from many different ministers, but my particular reason today is I'm questioning the association, or questioning by association, Roderick O'Gorman with Peter Tatchell. And my main concern is not with Roderick O'Gorman per se, but did Mr. Tatchell or any of his organisations or organisations that he's a patron of or associated with have any input into the sex education going forward here that we'll be examining in this current Dáil, and the report that was done on child sex education and sexuality here in the last Dáil. Any associations that Mr. Tatchell is involved with, did he contribute to those, or had he any influence whatsoever in the policy making that we are engaging in here in this sovereign parliament? Well, we know he has connections and has spoke at meetings where, different representatives of different parties attended and listened to and cheered him and clapped him. We saw that he attended the Pride March here, and he was welcomed and embraced by the Minister for Children, Deputy O'Gorman. But if he had any, more underbelly engagement, I call it for want of a better word, where he has been, making presentations, not only himself, but outfits or organisations that he is patron of, has association with, has been involved with, are they, trying to influence our future education policy. As I care very deeply, we were discussing maternity leave last night as a grandparent and as a dad of 8 grandchildren. I care very deeply about the soundings I'm getting, and that report that was done chaired by the Kildare deputy, Fiona O'Loughlin. I care very deeply for the future of our children, and I'm very concerned, as I think almost all right-thinking parents would be, for their children's future education, and especially, we're a sovereign state, and why should it be influenced by organisations that Mr. Tatchell has associations with?
Absolutely. Do you think that Irish politicians care enough about children? Do you think that things like RSE show sort of a lack of care or neglect for children in Ireland?
Well, we see the huge numbers of children that are homeless. We see the huge number of child carers who are caring for their parents or maybe grandparents. It's slave child labour. So we might give lip service to it. Then we come along and talk about all the RAC and all the things we should do and shouldn't do. Get the basics right first. Ensure that they have a home and a safe environment, a warm and embracing environment, and that they're protected. And they're allowed to develop as young people to the age of consent, not have dastardly things that was stated by Mr. Tatchell, that he knew of people who had sex with minors as young as 9 and 12, and it was a pleasurable occasion for both parties. That is anathema to most right-thinking people.